like that, even if there's such a sheet. Let's get this on a second. Thank you so much. Thank you. What is happening here? 1 second, please. Okay. If the Gemara holds that even when a man whenever you lend money, as soon as you give it, it belongs to the loan, even if he doesn't spend it. There wasn't machlokas. The Gemara did bring on an issue about it, but it seems that halacha is going to be that as soon as you give it, it belongs to them. I'm not sure about the halacha, but that's at least how the Gemara seems to go. As soon as you give it, it belongs to the lover, and therefore you can't. The and he can't be mekadosh with that money because it's her money already. And the Gemara is looking. There are many kashas.
Doesn't that do the job? I mean, doesn't that make a kinyan of things?
He gave her a loan.
Oh, you're calling it a loan.
He gave her a loan, and now he says, "Keep the loan, keep it." So by saying keeping it, he didn't give her anything. He just was mochel the fact that she has to give him back her money, but he doesn't have any money by her. So that's what Rav says.
I know someone that did that, and I think he wasn't Yaitza. It's an ani owed him money. So the ani wanted Metanas Avyanim. So he said, I forgive $100 of the chov. So he wasn't Yaitza Metanas Avyanim because even though he was made him happy that he paid $100 less of the chov.
No, he didn't do the mitzvah of Matanas Avyanim.
Unless he gave to other anim. He probably gave to other anim also.
What about this case?
So the Gemara has many kashas. The Gemara is not about the whole text, about 2 daf altogether, half and a half. That the Gemara is trying to prove that some do hold that Mekadosh B'milva is Mukadeshes, and the Gemara is defending it the whole time, and that's going to be the maskana. The Gemara defends everything at all costs. The Gemara defends that it's not true. Mekadosh B'milva ain't Mukadeshes. But here Gemara goes. Name Katano. It seems to be a machlokas. It's kashli b'shtacho. Which the Gemara is going to, that's going to be our focus. Especially b'shtachov, the Gemara is going to try to show that it means the chov that you owe me. You owe me a chov. So forget about it. Maybe that's what it means. Somebody else owed him money. A third party owed him money, and he said that I'm giving you the right to collect that money. That's not our subject. That the Gemara has no problem with. If you say that I'm giving you the loan that somebody else owes me, that the Gemara holds is good. But the Gemara wants to know if the first case means the chov that you owe me, which is our subject. So in the Brisa it says, both of these cases is a machlokus. Rabbi holds that it is good. Chum say both of the cases are not good. But the Gemara wants to analyze what is the case of the shtar chov that it says in the Reisha. Hi shtar chov vechidami. What's the case of the Reisha that says it's kachli b'shtar chov? Who shtar chov? If it means a shtar chov that other people owe me, that's the second case. That's the second case that other people owe me money and I'm giving it to you. So I'm giving the loan to you. So that's two times the same case. It must be that the first case is not somebody else owes me money, but a shtar chov that you owe me. Isn't that what it must mean? A process of elimination. And if so, if so you see this machlokas that the Meir holds that it is good Kiddushin. You say, Rav says that nobody holds. He wants to say according to everybody that Mekadosh B'milva ain't a Mukadeshes. And here you see that at least one of she holds it, Mukadeshes. So the Gemara gets out of the place. They're arguing. It comes out that they're arguing about, like Chukta, they're arguing about Mekadosh B'milva, everybody holds that it is good. So the Gemara says no. That's the main answer. The main answer is going to by deflecting the kasha and saying that no, the first case is also talking about somebody else's shtar, and the kasha doesn't make sense because that's the second case. So the Gemara has to find 2 cases of somebody else's chol, and the Gemara says the reason why the Brisa divides it into 2 is because the first case is a shtar chov, a document that's written down. This is a shtar chov for somebody owes me money, and now he's giving it to her. And the second case is going to be a milva peh. In the second case, it says a milva, it doesn't say milva b'shtar. So milva peh. And now the Gemara is going to have to explain, if so, what is the machlokes going to be about? What's the machlokes going to be about somebody else's shtar chov? What's the machlokes going to be about somebody else's milva peh? If he's giving her somebody else's loan, why shouldn't it be good Kiddushin? So the Gemara has many choices to talk about each, the first case at least. The milva b'shtar b'may pligi. What's going to be the machlokes about a milva b'shtar? Somebody else's. So we're already clear of our subject. Means our subject was if she owes him money, and that the Gemara says if she owes him money and he's mochel, for sure it's not good. And this Bryce is talking about somebody else owes him money, and he has a shtar from somebody else gave him a IOU, and now he's giving it to the woman, and there's some machlokus if it's good or not. And so we're clear of our subject. We already cleared the danger zone that nobody holds over here that if he gives her the hope that she owes him, that's not the subject. But we have to now figure out what's going to be the pshat. If the machlokus is about somebody else's shtar, why should there be a machlokus? Everybody should hold that it's good. So it was a bunch of choices. What could be the machlokus of giving over a shtar? They're all going to be technical. There'll be technicalities of the horror of how to give over the shtar, or if there's smichas das, as we'll see. So the Gemara has the first choice is, but look to the Rebbe Rabbanik Miflagi. The machlokus might be the machlokus as we find about Rebbe and Rabbanon on how to give over a shtar. It means if you did a good kinyan on the shtar that he gave her the shtar, then everybody hold that is good. He gave her somebody else's check, third party check. She gave me a man gave me a check. He owes me money. That's called the shtar chov. And now I give it to a woman. I say it's actually with a third party check. So there's a question if it's good or not. Why should it be machlokes? The Tanya osios think this b'mesira. Osios means a shtar. The words that are written, the letters that are written in the shtar. So I can just give it over. Rebbe says you I give over somebody else's check to you. I just give it over to you. It belongs to you. But that's not enough. Besides giving it over, you also have to write a shtar mechira. You have to write a bill of sale on the check. I have to write to you that this and this check number, bank number, cheshbon number, this is now hereby sold to you. So you have to do two things in order to give over a shtar chov. To sell a shtar chov, you have to give it over the shtar chov. You have to write a shtar mechira on the shtar chov.
Interesting.
And according to that, we'll say this machlokus over here. Mar is lady Rebbe, Mar less lady Rebbe. That means it's good enough to give it over. Osios Niklas B'Mesir means it's good enough to give over. If I want to give you somebody else's check, I just have to give it to you, and now you own it.
That's Rebbe.
Rebbe Chum saying it's not good enough. You have to write a shtar mechira and also give over the shtar chov. Means I have to give you the Mesira means to give over the check. I give over the third party check, and I also have to write you a shtar that I gave you the check. You have to do two things in order to give it over. So that'll be the machlokus. Everybody holds if you successfully transferred the check to the woman and said that I'm giving you. If you did a good job of giving it over to her, it would be a good Kiddushin. The only question is if you transferred it to her, did you just giving it over to her? It's not good enough. Maybe you have to also write a shtar mechira about it on it. That'll be the machlok. It's a very technical issue. Everybody holds that you could be mekadesh for somebody else's check. You just have to know how to give it over to the woman. That's teretz number one. Ibo is saying, if you want, I can tell you.
No, that's the machlok.
That's machlok. In the Bryce here, we had Rav Meir and Rabbanan. Rav Meir says mekudeshes. Chachamim say mekudeshes because Rav Meir holds that it's enough just to give over the shtar, and the Chachamim say it's not enough to give over the shtar. You didn't give it over successfully. That's one possibility. Another possibility. Ibo is saying with the Kuliyam, let's do the Rebbe. We're not involved in the machlokes of Rebbe. Whatever we hold, the Gemara says one choice. Let's do the Rebbe. That we don't hold the Rebbe. You have to do also ksiva and resiva. But there's another issue that you have to do. Maybe. They're arguing about Rav Papa's halacha. What does Rav Papa say? Rav Papa, hi man. If somebody sells a contract to his friend, I want to give you a check. Somebody gave me a check, wrote me a check to my name. I want to give it over to you. So he has to write in the shtar that he writes to him. He has to write. It's not enough to write, I'm giving you the check. Maybe giving the check just means a piece of paper. You have a piece of paper, but it doesn't mean that you have the chov that it represents. So if holds, you have to write that, or you have to say it. If you're saying is good enough, maybe to say it. If you have to write it, you have to write it. And if you didn't write that, then you just got the piece of paper. You didn't get the chov that it represents. Maris later Papa, Maris later Papa. That the machlokas Rebbe Meir and the Chachamim over here is going to be that he just gave her the check, but he didn't write in the shtar mechira, or he didn't say, I'm giving you also the chov that it represents. So according to Rebbe Meir is good enough because he gets the chov automatically. That's not the Rav Papa's din. Chachamim say no, in the Mukadeshas because he just gave the piece of paper. Piece of paper is not worth the shepherd fruta. You have to also say that I'm giving you the chov that it represents.
The shtar, isn't that the shtar?
There's a check, right? There's a check. So it could be that if you give somebody a check, you just give them the piece of paper, and you don't give them the chov that it represents. Rav Papa says you have to say clearly, either by verbally or to write it. You have to say that I'm giving you also the chov. And according, if you hold that you need that, and you didn't write it, so she didn't get the chov. She just got. She goes
to paper, which is not worth it.
Yeah. So
Even
that
though it
also
represents money, doesn't help. Even though I can
he
cash
doesn't
it.
have you don't have a right to cash it. If you hold like a papa, you don't have a right to cash it. The chov is still mine. The paper is yours, but the chov is mine. That's a chiddush. And the Gemara wonders about it over there in Baba Basra. Somebody's going to buy the check just for a piece of paper. He says, yeah, maybe it's meant to buy the piece of paper. So you have to also explicitly say, I'm telling you also the chov that it represents. If you hold like that, so then she didn't get the chov only if he wrote so, if he said so. So that might be the machlokus. Of course, these are all dochak in the words. That's the machlokus of the shtar chov. Ibn same possibility number 3. To call yam mislu papa. That's also not the subject over here. Islu papa. You also maybe can say less lu papa. That's not the subject over here. A new issue. You successfully gave over the shtar chov to the woman. You have somebody else's check that they gave you, and you're giving over to the woman. That says that Reuben owes me money. I sell the shtar chov to you. Somebody gave me a check, and I sell it to you. And then I'm mochel, the one who wrote the check. Even though I sold you the right to collect, but I still own, maybe Shmuel says I still own the chov. So if I wouldn't be a nice guy, I could be mochel the chov. Someone owes me money, and I sell the chov to you. But then I'm mochel the first guy, so he doesn't owe you anymore. You come to collect from him, he says that was mochel. So if you hold like that, so Rashi says the problem is going to be that the woman is not so mechdas. Even if Lamaisi you weren't mochel, since you have the right to be mochel, so she's not secure about getting this money. She got the check, but she doesn't know. Maybe when she goes to the bank, that's going to they'll tell her that it was nimchal already. So Shmuel said you could do it. Even if the person died, the mocher, the one who had the check and he sold it, even if he died, and the Yorish is mochel, he also has the right to be mochel because his father was owed the money, and the Yorish now is owed the money, and the Yorish has the right to be mochel. That's not our subject, Mamish the Yorish.
To the woman, she'll never get the money.
So she might not get it. So even if she did get it at the end, she wasn't so mechdas. When she got it, she wasn't sure that she's going to end up getting it. The Mar is the Shmuel, or Ma'ala is the Shmuel. But Meir doesn't hold of Shmuel, so she's so mechdas because she knows for sure she's going to be able to cash it in. But the Chacham Zayin Mukadesh is because they hold of Shmuel that maybe the husband will be mochel and she won't get any money. So therefore, it's not a good Kiddushin. So the Gemara is all trying to deflect. There's not, this is all going in the case of somebody else's shachol. And possibility number 4, Iboy saying with the Kul Yama is Lahu Shmuel. Everybody holds that she could be mochel. So why do the Chachamim say that she's mukadeshes? A wife is different. Even though the husband would have a right to be mochel, but the wife, he just married her. He gave her a check of $100, whatever it is, that he got from somebody else, from Reuben, and he said, in the check of Reuben that is $100. So it is true that he has the right to be mochel Reuben, but she thinks that's not going to be my husband. He's a husband. He just married me. He's going to be mochel and take away my and not become my husband now. He's going to be mochel and it's not going to be a Kiddushin. He wanted to marry me. So probably he's not going to. So that would be as far to say that even though technically he could, but she's he's not going to do it. She's going to say he's not going to leave me and be mochel somebody else. He liked me. He wanted to marry me. So not mistaber that he's going to be mochel. So therefore it is good Kiddushin. That she also is not sure. She's not 100% sure. Maybe he's not going to like the supper, and then he's going to say, forget about it. I'll take out the whole Kiddushin. I'll be mochel, and it wasn't a Kiddushin. So we have 4 possibilities how to explain the machlokes in the brisa. If we scroll back, like we were just doing, we're focusing on this brisa that it says, we wanted to learn that it's talking about a shtar that she owes him, but then we don't like that because it comes out that somebody holds Mekadosh B'Milum Mukadeshes. So we say it's talking about the shtar of somebody else, and 4 possibilities what the machlokes might be. Is the machlokes if you gave it over correctly, you just gave it over, or you also have to ksivo masir, you have to also write a shtar about it, or a purpose then that you have to write or say that I'm giving you the chov also that it represents not just a piece of paper, or it might be an issue of Shmuel that holds that she could be mochel and therefore she's not so machdas, or maybe she is so machdas even though it's also pointing to she holds like Shmuel, maybe doesn't hold Shmuel at all, so she's so machdas, and even if the older Shmuel could be that a wife is different, the wife is going to be so machdas. All this was to avoid the necessity to say that it's talking about a shtar chov given to her, because it's talking a shtar chov that was somebody else's shtar chov, and 4 possibilities what the machlokes might be. Once we said this, we also have to explain, which we didn't explain it till now, there's also machlokus in the sefer about a milval peh. He said that the second case is talking about a milval peh, and I gave over a milval peh to this woman and said, you should be mukadeshes to me with this milval peh. And there's a machlokus about it. The Meir says good, Avrohom say no good. What's that machlokus about? So the Gemara continues. The milval, it's not, I made a two dots, it's not a real two dots, it's a fake two dots over here. That what did I do here? Wrong one. No, that was a good one. This is
once every 2 weeks. Shouldn't be more.
What is not going to come in?
the milva I'll pay by my plea in the brisa that is say in another case. Here says farish to somebody else's. This wasn't a question. It wasn't even on the radar of our kasha. But once we're explaining it, what is the machlokas about a milva al peh? That the husband, the man, the chassan, he gives over to the woman a milva al peh. He doesn't give a piece of paper. There's no piece of paper. There's no check. Somebody owes me money, and I say I'm giving over the money that he owes me. I'm giving over to you. What's the machlokas? Surely it should be good. But the Rav Huna Amar Rav, they're arguing in the din of Rav Huna Amar Rav. Rav Huna Amar Rav, manli biyadcha, tenei leploni b'mamash lashon. How could you give over somebody else's loan? It means if you have a piece of paper, you give over a piece of paper. You have to know how to do it. Maybe you have to write ksiva and masira. Maybe you have to write inside that I'm giving you the hope that it represents. But if you have a milva peh, if somebody owes you something oral debt, how could I give it over to you? Somebody owes me money. How could I make that he owes you now? How do I do that?
You could say two about pays, but no, that's not person.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I have to stop. Hello.
It's very trouble. I know she's sorry about it. Nice Filipino lady. She's happy with me. After the life, 80 years, 90 years, going through this situation, and the Holocaust, the divorce of Israel, so this nice thing.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's quite very quite nice. Which year was this? Very nice.
It's a small place. There's a Kiddushin.
And the davening is totally different than ours.
I'm getting closer to all the time. People saying, lots of things to learn about. And then
20 minutes, maybe.
oh, just to set up.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I know, both computers, they just won't work.
So you got it finally?
Yeah.
It's raining hard now?
Huh?
It's raining down?
Yeah.
And then they said to me, this special tefillah that they have a tradition. They say shame, shame, hey, תבטל את כל דת של עצמנו וכל everybody answers. Ten times. I think it was 10. It's a lot of times. Each time it's We did this at the 16. Remember what happened there?
Who did this?
Let's make it look.
Who did this?
Shul, little Temani shul. So we can. Just let what
Okay, I'm sorry that I have to stop for the.
For your mother, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so the one wants to, we're on, everything's good. We want to know what the machlokas is about milva peh. If
You could sell.
you want to give the chov that somebody owes me a verbal loan, oral, I want to give it over. What's the machlokas? Everybody showed that it's good. If you gave it over, it should be good, a good Kiddushin. But the question is, how do you give it over? Because there's only one way to do it, and that's called mamash loshtan. Maybe that was what Chaim David was saying. If the old people are here, the one who owes me and the one I want to give it to, they're all standing together, and I say that the loan that you owe me, I hereby give over to the third party. Now, by Pikadon, it does work. And the question is if it works by a loan. Manli biyotcha, Tanei Leploni b'mamash loshtan kana. Rav Huna Rav says it's such a thing called mamash loshtan. Mamash loshtan means in the presence of all three people. The presence of all three of them.
The mamad.
Mamash loshtan. The mamad in the presence of all three of them. You owe me $100. Give it to him. Marsava ki come around, some hold that only by Pikadon. If I have a Pikadon, someone is holding my Pikadon, and I say give it to him, that automatically makes that he owns it, without giving it over. I tell the nifkad, give it to him. That's already belongs to him.
Tangible
That's
item.
Pikadon. A tangible item or money, or if it's a Pikadon, if it means that it's it's a thing that you're washing for me. But a milva, if somebody owes me money, can I do the same lumdus? Can I make the mechanics as it work? That I say you owe me money, give it to him. So some hold yes, some hold not. So if the man wants to give over to a woman the Kiddushin by saying that the loan that you owe me, give to her. If it works, then it's good Kiddushin. But if it doesn't work, then I didn't give her anything. So we got out of the issue of this brisa to go back again. There was a brisa that we thought this would be a right to our shaila about the Kaddish ben Milva, that the hope that the woman owes the man. If he says keep it, maybe it says that is good enough. The Gemara got out of it by saying it's not talking about a hope that the woman owes, it's talking about a hope that somebody else owns. And the reason why it says two cases is because one is with a star and one is balpeh. With a star, we can make full machlokas about what they might be arguing about. By a milva balpeh, the machlokas is going to be if you could do mamash loshtan with a milva, maybe only by pikadon. So we got out of the raya, and Rav is still standing. I'm a kaddish b'milva, ain't a mukadeshes. The Gemara continues. Next sugya, again, name ketano. The Gemara thinks that that's another brisa that would be a raya. Name ketano. It says it's kashali b'shtar. It doesn't say the word chov over here. That's going to be the secret. It doesn't say shtar chov. It's kashali b'shtar. The Gemara thinks that it must be the shtar chov. Rav Meir Omar ain't a mukadeshes. Rav Elazar a mukadeshes. Rav Meir says it's good.
The cases, I'm sorry.
We don't know. We also don't know.
Okay.
It says it's kashali b'shtar. He wants to be mekadosh a woman with the shtar. We don't know what that means. Rav Meir says it's not good. Rav Elazar says it is good. And the Chachamim will say, you see if the paper is worth a shava pruta. The Chachamim will shama nasanya, not the star, what it represents, but the piece of paper. If the paper is worth a shava pruta, it's good because it's not kedusha shtar, it's kedusha kesef. And if it's not, then it's not good kedushin. Ad kan the brisa, but we don't know what the words mean. What does it mean? It's kashali b'shtar. Ashtar hechidami. The Gemara thinks that it means kind of kedusha kesef. The Gemara doesn't think that it means kedusha shtar. We know in the beginning of the Masechta, Isha nicknames bekesef shtar ubebia. The Gemara thinks talking about kesef.
No, it's good. What's wrong with shtar? We know that.
So the Gemara doesn't think that it means kedusha shtar. The Gemara thinks it means a kedusha kesef. And as we had the whole thing, we're talking about the shtar chov. It's actually with the money of a check. So and it's machlokas over here. Some say it's not good. He happens to hear Ramesh changed the price before said Ramesh said yes mukadesha. Chum said not. Here's the opposite. Ramesh says it's not. Rav says it is. Chum say it depends if the paper is worth a shava pruta. Hi shtar hechidami. That's the end of the brisa. And now the Gemara wants to analyze what does the word shtar mean. If it means a shtar chov, a check somebody else owes me, a third party check that I have from somebody. I want to give it to the woman, and that's a machlokas. Kasha der meir, because der meir in the previous brisa we said it's talking about a shtar chov da'achirim, and we said that der meir over there says yes mukadeshes, and he's going to say in a mukadeshes. So it'll be a contradiction in Rav Meir if we're going to explain the brisa over here to mean a shtar chov da'achirim. It must mean that he's consciously with the shtar that you owe me. I have a shtar that you owe me money, you, Miss, and I want to marry you with the chov of being mochel you that chov. And Rav Meir says it's not good. Rav Elazar says it is good. So we found that somebody holds that as good. But Rav said nobody holds Mekadesh Bimel was good. And here, if that's what the word shtar means, shtar chov dida means her shtar chov, that she owes him money and he's mochel her. It says that it's good. So we have a raya that somebody holds that it's good. This is what Chaim wanted to say. That it means Kiddushin shtar. It doesn't mean Kiddushin kesef. This brisa doesn't say shtar chov. As we noticed, we pointed out that the words here don't say shtar chov. It says shtar. Before it said shtar chov. This brisa says shtar. So he's going to say that it means Kiddushin shtar. But then we have to figure out everybody else Kiddushin shtar is good. What could the machlokas be about? Yeah, you have. But Meir says it's not good. Everybody says it is good. Chum say if the paper is worth money, what could they be arguing about? So Gemara once again is going to look for possibilities what they might be arguing about, and it's all very much how do you say, like hamsaot, like inventions. It doesn't say in the words. You have to stick into the words what they might be arguing about. So first the Gemara talks about that there's no edim signed on the shtar. It says but nobody signed on it, and he gave it over to her in front of edim Masira, but no edei chasima. But male tamedam edei chasima kasi. But May holds you must have edei chasima, and if no one signed on it, so it's not a good shtar. And if Allah holds you don't have to have edim signed on it, it's enough to have edei Masira, and therefore it's good enough. That'll be the machlokas. About our Rabbanan say, you look if the paper is worth money. Rabbanan they're not sure. They're not sure if it's a good Kiddushin or not. So therefore, you evaluate if the paper is worth money. So it comes out of Chiddush, which Rashi points out that even though he seems to be Mekadesh with a shtar, and we're going to say it's not a good Kiddush shtar because it might be like a balaza, like a mayor that ate a chasima kasi, and there's no chasima. But if the money is worth, if the paper is worth money, it's also good enough. That means that there's like a, what's the word? In case you have a reserve. What is the word?
Backup.
A backup. Thank you. It's a backup. That I'm Kaddish with a shtar. If it's not good for any reason, so then take it as Kiddushin Kesef. Take the value. If it's not worth if it's not Kiddushin shtar, if it doesn't work as a document of marriage, let it work as Kiddushin Kesef. It's worth money. It's worth a piece of paper. So Rav Meir doesn't hold that. Rav Meir says it's not Mukdash. It's because it holds it's not Kiddushin shtar because it doesn't have signatures, and he doesn't say that there's a backup that in case the shtar is not good, so let it at least be worth money. And Rabbanan say that there's a backup that if it doesn't work, B'Torah's Kiddushin shtar, let it work, B'Torah's Kiddushin Kesef.
Because it's worth itself.
Yes.
Or because it's a written shtar.
No, not because a piece of paper.
Because the paper itself.
And that's a Chiddush.
Not allow that.
If they say so, B'Ferish is good, but if that's not what they said, they made up a Kiddushin shtar. So now there's a backup that in case the shtar doesn't work, so let at least be Kiddushin Kesef. Most people don't think that way. That wasn't their das. That wasn't their intention. They wanted to make a Kiddushin through a shtar. It doesn't work. But want to say that they have a backup in their mind that in case it doesn't work with Torah shtar, let it work with Torah's Kesef. That it's worth money. The Gemara does say. Would it
matter what the woman thinks?
You have to say both of them. You must say both of them are thinking that. Rashi uses the word the feminine, what her das is. But you have to have his das also.
He's the one who's making the deal. The
daita, Rashi says daita. You have to say also daita. Both of them. Daita nami and yora.
And the Edom.
And the Edom, what? What's with the Edom?
Yes,
they also have to know what's happening.
Yeah.
They saw the Kiddushin and they have to know that even though it doesn't work with Torah shtar, it works with Torah's kesed. They have to know what's happening. Okay, makes sense. Could be. The Gemara got a little. The Gemara l'chora got like Rav Meir that the backup, if it's worth money, so it'll be Kiddushin Kesef. But the Gemara doesn't just say that. The Gemara says they have a suffix if a mayor or a balaza. They made that it wasn't for sure like a mayor. Maybe a balaza is right and the star is good. Maybe it's not good. So therefore, if it's worth money, then it's surely good. And in love, if it's not worth shavapruta, ain't a mukadeshes. The words are difficult because maybe it is mukadeshes because the Gemara said maybe like a balaza. The Gemara made a problem for itself. The Gemara didn't have to say that. Rashi points out that according to the Gemara, you have to take out these words. These words you have to take out. Which means you have to go back to the Brisa where the Brisa said these words. It said they will not be mukadeshes. So according to this, you're gonna have to take out these words because even if it's not worth a shavar pruta, it's a suffix mukadeshes. Because maybe Rabbi Loz is right that the Masira Karsi is good enough. And I don't know why the Gemara made a problem for herself. The Gemara could have said that for sure the Holdar Meir and the star is not good, but if it's worth a Shavapruta, so they also have a backup that it should be Kedushay Kesser. So I'm not sure why the Gemara does that. And according to when the Gemara does, then I have to change the Gersa. You have to say Fim Lav, it's a suffix, not that it's Einam B'Kodesh, it's Malav, it's a suffix Kedushin. So I'm confused about that. But the Gemara did get out of the kasha. The kasha the Gemara thought when it says in the Brisa, it's kasha li b'shtar, machlokes if it's good or not. The Gemara thought it was talking about a shtar chov that she owed money to him, and the Gemara got out of it by saying that it's kedusha shtar. And the Gemara found, but they might be arguing about the chesima kausi, the mesira kausi. Ibo is saying once again, the Gemara has a couple of choices what they might be arguing about as far as kedusha shtar. Ibo is saying, well, we have these already. This is bringing back old good memories. That he wrote to his star Erisim, that's most of Yisrael, but they didn't write it Lishma. Does a Kiddushin have to be written Lishma? You know what? Another possibility, right? Ibo is saying another way to answer the Brisa that it's not talking about a star hope. It's talking about a star Kiddushay star. And what in the world are they arguing about? Not about Eid Chasim, Eid Masira. They have signatures, but the problem was that it wasn't written Lishma. We know get, that's homosexual gittin, you have to have get lishma because of law lishma. They also have to have kiddushin written lishma. Over the Shlakish committee arguing about the Shlakish's din, who he said that it does have to be written lishma, and they might be arguing if that's true or not. The boy Shlakish had a question, which we had already in the Aftes on the base. It says on the side, Shtar Eristin shekasvo shalom lishma mahu. If a shtar Eristin means kiddush shtar was written shalom lishma, is a kosher. Havayili tziyah makshina. Maybe we make a hekesh between marriage and divorce. That's the pasuk of Yatsa mi beisov v'alchav v'isol lishacher. Havaya means v'hoisa, she gets married. Litzia means she gets divorced. If there's such a hekesh in the pasuk,
means
divorce. Yeah, v'yatsa mi beisov. Ma yitzia bin al lishma, afavaya nam bin al lishma. If there's such a comparison between marriage and divorce, the same way divorce has to be lishma, as we know because of law.
Havaya is getting married,
right? Maybe also the marriage has to be made lishma. Odilma havaya is ladadi makshinan. Maybe the hekesh is between not marriage and divorce, but between different types of marriage. We know that there's kesef, shtar, and bia, and by kesef, the money doesn't have to be minted lishma. Ma'avai the kesef lo bina lishma. When he marries her with money, the money doesn't have to be made lishma. Afavai the shtar lo bina lishma. Maybe marriage that you do through a contract also doesn't have to be lishma. That was Rish Lakish's question, but at the end he came to Askana. After he asked the question, he solved the question, and he said, "V'yatsa v'oisa, makishavai liyitzia." He decided, he doesn't say how he proves it, but he says that there's a hekesh between divorce and marriage, and therefore just like divorce has to be lishma, so too marriage has to be lishma. And this shtar was not written lishma.
Okay. The Yatsa v'Yaisa is a pasuk because it's
maybe the helps us over here. Here it is. She leaves his house and she goes to marry somebody else. So that's Havaya. This is Havaya. He says Havaya, and Yitzia is divorce. Makish Havaya Yitzia. Just like Yitzia has to be Lishma, the get has to be written Lishma. So too, the marriage contract also has to be written Lishma. So that's Rish Lakish's maskana. So if a shtar was written Shalom Lishma, it doesn't say anything about this in the Brisa, but the Gemara is putting it in. That's the machlokis. Maybe that's the machlokis. It's kashali b'shtar, but it wasn't written Lishma. But Meir says it's no good because those like Rish Lakish have to be written Lishma. But Velaz holds that it's good because it does not have to be written Lishma. And the Rabbanan, you can say that they're not sure, or you could say that they hold for sure it has to be Lishma. But if she has in mind in case it's not going to be a good Kiddush shtar, so let it be worth the money that it is. So that's how the second possibility, how the Gemara explains the machlokis or Meir and Rabbanan. Ma'is the Rish Lakish, Ma'is the Rish Lakish, or Meir holds like Rish Lakish that has to be the Shema, so it's not a good Kiddushin. And the Rabbanan, Rabbi Lazar, don't hold the Rish Lakish, that's why it's good. That was possibility number 2. And we even have possibility number 3. Ibo Yisema also was
why there's 3 here? We already dealt with about 4 or 5 before that.
That was a different kasha with a different teretz. We're in a different world, a different planet now.
No, but what's enough coming in this triplet here?
We're trying to find the shatim in this brisa that says his kasha li b'shtar machlokas of Meir and Rabbi Lazar.
So we first 4 or whatever.
No, that was before. That was in the morning already, and that was this brisa over here that said this kasha li b'shtar chov. That was the 4 possibilities before. to get out of a shtar chov. But here we want to say it's not talking about a shtar chov.
The milva.
That was all that yesterday. That was there before. Now we're talking about a shtar. We're saying that's not talking about a shtar milva. It's talking about a shtar kiddushin, and we're finding different possibilities what they might be arguing about. The first one was if there's no edim. Second one is if it was not lishma, and now a third one. The ibo is same with the kul yam mislu the shlokish. You have to be lishma. A shtar kiddushin has to be written lishma. Here the case was they wrote it lishma, but she didn't know about it. When they wrote the shtar kiddushin, he wrote them. The chassan knows who he wants to marry. They wrote it with knowing who his kala is going to be, but he didn't tell her about it. When she wrote it, it wasn't with her consciousness. She didn't know about it. And then later on, he goes over to her and says, "I have a shtar. I want to marry you." Is that good? Since it was not written with her knowledge. We had this also before the Testament days that they had machlokas amarom about this. Does a shtar kiddushin have to be written with her knowledge? Even if it was written lishma, it's not enough. Maybe it has to be written with her knowledge. The itmar kosel lishma v'shalom idaita. We had learned about this. If you wrote a shtar kiddushin for her, for the intention for her, but he didn't tell her about it. He wanted to surprise her. He didn't say, "Let's go to the sofer about a shtar kiddushin." He wrote a shtar kiddushin by himself by the sofer, and then he goes and wants to present it to her, but she didn't know about it. Rava Rabina Amrin.
She has a choice to take it or not to take it.
Yeah, but she wants. She's very happy. She wants to get married, but then some say it's not good because it has to be written with her knowledge. Rashi brings down the Gemara before we had why it might be like that. Why you might have to have her das. Because just like the get, you have to have the das makna. The husband, you have to write a get. A get that's written with the husband because he's the one who's giving over what he owns. He owned the husbandship and he's giving it over. So here, when she's getting married, she's the one she's makna herself. He's makna herself to herself. Whatever he had in her, he had this chus that he's not allowed to marry anybody. He's the makna. So then he has to be with his das. So too by marriage, when she's the one who's being makna herself to her husband, that you're gonna have the right of mine not marrying anybody. Maybe you have to have her das. So that's my So Rav Ravina Amri Mukudeshes, you don't have to have her das. Rav Papa Rav Shrevi Amra Ena Mukudeshes, because you do have to have her das. So that might be machlokes in this brisa that it says machlokes Rav Meir and Rav Elazar and Chachamim. I say if it's valuable, misad the value, but misad the shtar might not be good because it wasn't written for a das. So that's his name, Rav Shravia. I don't know how to pronounce it, Shravia. So we got out of that also. So this was another name of Ketanoi. I think we had already 4. This is the 4th one already. And the Gemara once again got out of it and made a dochak to say it's talking about, I don't know if it's just a dochak. It's missing the main thing. It doesn't say what the issue is. So say it's talking about shtar kiddushin, and the machlokes might be if the chasim b'karsi, or it might be if you need the shema, or it might be if you need her das. So we cleared the issue was not talking about a shtar chov that she owes him, and he said keep it. The Gemara tries again. Might be. I think this is try number 5. Name of Kani Tanoi. Today we had 3. Name of Kani Tanoi.
The third one was the Yitzia ve'Hayesa. No.
When I was talking about, I was zooming out about how many tries we had. The name of Tanoi. In this thing, we had 3 tries over here about 3 answers to say it's talking about Kedusha Shtar. One was about the Chasima, one was about the Shema, and one was about Das. And now we're going further to new Gemara. It's 2 lines before it spreads. Name of Kanit Tanoi. The machlok is about the Kaddish B'Milva, which Rav says is not good. But you seem to be a machlok is to know about it. Very interesting. What the Gemara is going to do now, everything's interesting, but a certain flavor of B'Choshen Mishpat. There's going to come a lot of Dinim Ominous now. Name of Kanit Tanoi. It seems to be a machlok is the following Brisa, Tanoim, if Kaddish B'Milva is good or not. The Tanya, Asay Li Shirayim, the Zomim V'Tavos. The woman has gold, and she wants to make jewelry out of it. And she tells the man, make out of this gold jewelry. Shirayim, shirim. It's like a bracelet. Nizamim, nose ring, tabos, finger ring. I'll be married to you. I'll marry you for the work that you do, that you make. You're a goldsmith. Make gold out of this. Make jewelry out of this gold.
Wait a minute. What's he giving her? She's doing the work. No, he's doing it. She's doing it.
She gives him gold and says, make jewelry out of it.
That's worth money.
So that's worth money.
Labor.
So
His labor.
So here it seems to be machlokes. The words literally say, as soon as he makes it, she's married. It seems the simple words would be mashma, even though you didn't give it to her yet.
Mm.
He made it. Chivin sha'asan mekudeshes. We're in the last narrow line. Chivin
But you
sha'asan.
kept the condition. That's what she said. You do this and.
So that what the word seemed to say. The Gemara is going to say in a second it can be. But the word seemed to say once he made it, she's mekudeshes. Simple words would mean that it's not a marriage until she gets it, till she gets the jewelry. That's what we'd read the Brisa simply. But the Gemara says can't be.
Why do they call it mammon? Call it jewelry.
Okay, good. But the Gemara says, "I'm Mammon Echidam." What does it mean that he has to get the money? She has to get the money. Ilema also Mammon. If it means the jewelry, that means Tanakama holds that she's married. Rav Meir holds she's married even though she didn't get the jewelry. Can't be. Even though that's what the word seems to say, the Gemara rejects it. It can't be. It can't be that she's married, even though he did what she wanted. She wanted him to make jewelry. He made jewelry. It can't be that she's married just because he listened to what she said. Surely she has to get it.
Why?
Because he didn't give anything to her yet.
Huh.
I don't know why. I really don't know why. She wanted it. It's worth to her what she wanted. She wanted that she made it into jewelry, and he made it into jewelry. Okay, but it's hers. Is it not hers? It's her gold. If it's made into jewelry, the Gemara says it can't be.
Being transformed into what she requested.
She wanted it, so it's not good. I don't know. The Gemara says pshita that it's not good.
But there's no Messiah. There's no giving.
What he made it, the gold into jewelry is worth
No,
money.
but no, it's worth money.
It's her gold. It's her gold. But the Gemara says pshita is no good. I'm not going to argue because you're right.
It's not mushlam really.
I don't know
She
why.
wants to see what she got. She wants to hold
So
it.
let her come and see that.
We had a roof about 2 months ago. A girl, an Ethiopian girl, got married to somebody, whatever. We asked her for marriage. The moment she saw the ring on her face, on her finger, she was mamish in heaven. She just put it out for pictures and sending it to all her friends. This is the simcha that it's on their finger. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Here she made it. She said, "I'll be married to you with what you make the gold into jewelry."
Right.
And the Gemara says pshita that it's not marriage just because he made the gold into jewelry. El b'mai mekacha. They take out the word bo. El b'mai mekacha. What she married with if he didn't give it to her. Pshita he has to give it to her. So the Gemara is going to have to figure out what they're arguing about. Again, the woman said to the man, "Take this gold, make jewelry out of it, and I'll be married to you." And machlokas if it's good or not. El alav b'maman acher. That when the Chacham say it's not good till she gets money, it means till she gets other money. That means this Kiddushin wasn't good. He has to give her money. He has to give her a shalapruta. He has to give her something. He has to do Kiddushin. Whatever wants to do Kesef, Shtar, Bia. He has to do a Kiddushin. In other words, it's not good. So what are they arguing about? Ushma mina mekadesh milva kamiflagi. It must be that they're arguing about is it a good Kiddushin because there's a milva going on over here. So this is like
going back to that. I thought we done with that.
No, we're not done. This is the whole sugya. Mekadesh b'milva. Everything's Mekadesh b'milva. That's what we've been on for yesterday, 3 days already. I think so. So this is the third day. So the Gemara wants to know. The Gemara sees in this brisa. This is like ingenious, I think. How did the Gemara figure this out? That the Gemara sees over here. There's a milva going on. You see any milva? The woman gave gold to the man and said, "Make jewelry out of it." And the Gemara asks Machlokas if it's a good Kiddushin or not. Of course, he has to give it back to her. He gave back the jewelry. She gave him gold. And he gave her back a ring made out of it, made a ring out of the gold. And there's a machlokes that's something to do with Mekadesh ben Milva. Where's Mekadesh ben Milva?
It could be that she owed him a certain amount.
No. This is the story. She gave him gold and asked him to make jewelry out of it. He did what she wanted, and he gave her back the ring, which is her gold, but he made a ring out of it. And there's a machlokes of Mekadesh ben Milva. So I don't think I would figure it out. But here it goes. The have a milva. Wow. So the Gemara, when a worker is working, when is he owed the money? This craftsman, this goldsmith, he made job. How long the job cost? Let's say $50. To take the gold and make it into a ring costs $50. When does she owe him the $50? So that's one opinion. That schiris mishalem is lebesof. That at the end you finish the job, that's when she owes him the money. The other side is to say, as he's working, it's a running bill. And if what is that?
$1 an hour.
No.
Oh, not by time. Not by time. We're not talking about by the hour. We're talking about for the job. I think.
So yeah, it's a quarter finished, she owes him quarter.
Right, and maybe it is by the hour. I'm not sure, but that's But as he's working
Right.
or as the time or as the job is getting finished, she owes him more and more money. At the end, when she pays him,
Mhm.
she's paying up the money that she owes
Right.
because it's already been on the bill from the time that he started working. And that's owed money. So Gemara looks at that as a milva. So when she gave him gold and he did the work, let's say whatever, it took 5 hours and he made it into a ring and he gives it back to her, the money that she and she says that I'll be married to you for that money
Right.
that
But
it
you
costs
spent.
to make for your labor.
Right.
But the labor is calculated as it's going, as he's working. So everything else besides the last mashu was alone the whole time. So the Gemara sees Mekadosh Ben Milva. That the one who says that is good is because Mekadosh Ben Milva is good. The one who holds that it's not good is Mekadosh Ben Milva is not good. How could it be good if you hold that the payment is a running bill? Yes, no schis mitchila batzov. So it's a milva. All the money that's been calculated, been is the word accrued. It's been accrued the whole time. So that's only a milva. And if you say that it's a good Kiddushin, it's because your Mekadosh Ben Milva is good. The Marasav Mekadosh Ben Milva Mukadeshes, or Marasav Mekadosh Ben Milva Ena Mukadeshes. If that's the pshat, so we found the machlokes that some hold. Who's going to be? Rav Meir is going to hold. That's Mukadeshes because Yos Mekadosh Ben Milva is good. So once again, the Gemara is going to get out of this with many possibilities. Low, not necessarily. If it would be the way we just explained it, then it wouldn't be good Kiddushin. Rav Meir would agree it's not good because Mekadosh Ben Milva ain't a Mukadeshes. Yes.
He said, but Kulam Mekadesh at the middle. Everybody. Second last line at the end.
Tikul Yalma Mekadosh Ben Milva ain't a Mukadeshes. The arguing, when is the chiyuv to pay? Is it, as we said, it's a running bill that started from the beginning? No, maybe not. Some hold yes, some hold not. Ma'asav one possibility is that the one holds that it's good is because he holds that the payment is only chayiv at the end of the whole work. So at the end of the whole work, when he gives her the ring, that's when he's giving her also the work that he did. That's when she's now chayiv, and now he's giving her that. So he gave her.
When it's
he
all
gave,
finished, only then.
right. So there's no milv over there. It's not a running bill. There's no running bill. Right now, when he gives it to her, that's when he's giving her the ring with the work that's there, and he's not asking her for the that's called that he's giving her. But if you hold that has been a running bill, then it's no good because Mekadosh Ben Milva ain't a Mukadeshes. So you don't have a proof that anybody holds Mekadosh Ben Milva is Mukadeshes. The one who holds that it's a good Kiddushin is because he holds it's not a Milva because there wasn't the chiyuv until now. That's one possibility. So it is a Milva. So how come it's good? How come it's a good Kiddushin? Rashi says we're talking about, not here at this point at least, Rashi says we're not talking about working by time. He's not working by the hour. He's not paid by the hour. He's paid for the job. And he took the gold, he made it into a ring. Who owns the difference between the gold and the ring? Who owns? There's a possibility to say that the craftsman, he acquires the how would you say how much is more value? What's a nice word for that?
Accrued value.
You made some. You took gold. You made it into a ring.
Right.
The difference between the gold and the ring, how much it became worth more?
Right.
What's a nice word for that?
Oh,
An increase.
inflated
Okay.
values.
Okay, the
value
increase,
inflated.
the increase between the gold
Right.
and the ring, according to Wamad Yama, the craftsman owns that. He has a chiluk in the ring.
Right.
He gets a chiluk in the ring,
That sounds right.
even though it wasn't his gold.
Right.
But since he worked to make it into a ring, there's a possibility that he owns part of the ring now. And if you hold like that, then he gives it to her the ring. So he gave her money, not only a chov, not only that she owes him money for the work. I own part of the ring. That would be a possibility why it's a good Kiddushin. Machlokas is if the craftsman owns part of the not the devalue, but the opposite of the devalue, how much it's increased value. That the one who holds that it's good Kiddushin because he holds that the craftsman owns part of the ring. So when he gives it to her, he gave her something that he owns. But if you hold a Newman Kona Rishvachli, she just owes she just owes her money. She owes her money, then it's called a milva. And a third possibility to say why it's a good Kiddushin, even though it's a milva, he doesn't own anything in the ring. That the money was accrued, the chov was accrued the whole time, and it is a milva, and Mekadosh milva in a mukadesh, that's all the problems. So if you have all these three problems, so why is it good Kiddushin according to anybody? He added on some of his own. It doesn't say it on the Brisa. The Brisa says that she said make the gold into a ring, and he made it into a ring. But you have to add on that he added on some of his own gold also.
Not about the shvach of the value, but because
He added. He put some chomer into it. The word nofach is very interesting. What's the word nofach mean? And it became an expression. When you add on something of your own, you call it, he was hosted from nofach mishalah. What's nofach? Nofach is the name of a stone. And it's in the Parshas Truma, where it talks about the Avnei Choshen, Vatur Hasheni, Nofach Sapir V'Yahalom. It's a name of a stone. So he added on a stone of his own.
Can I suggest something else? That he uses gas to fire up the melting process. And
it doesn't say, it says nofach.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no guarantee he's going to add anything. Whereas to make it,
there's no guarantee anything.
You have to use.
But that's you're saying the Gemara doesn't say that.
Huh?
The Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara says that he added on a nofach. That means that she gave him gold, but he wanted to make it a nice ring, so he put it on a stone of his own.
How you can be sure that he's going to do that?
No, not sure. The case is, this is the case.
Oh.
That's the case. Hello? Ken? Ken.
One of the breastplate.
אני באמצע שיעור, האם זה דחוף? באחד.
כן,
בשמחה. שלום. So he added on, it means she gave him gold, but he wanted to make it with a stone. He put a stone in. So he added on a stone. So it's his stone. It's his stone. So then he gave him some. So what's the question? If he gave her a stone, so then for sure it's a good. What's the question? The Marsava Milva Pruta Daitia Pruta Marsava Daitia Milva. We had the sugi before already. What if he was Makadasher with two things? He gave also a loan and also a Pruta. There's her das on the Pruta alone. If he says I'm Makadasher with two things, so maybe she's only accepting if she got both things. Does she have in mind to say that I know Milva is not such a good Kiddushin and therefore the Pruta alone is good enough or not? If she doesn't know that, if she thinks that she's only coming Miskadeshes with the Milva and the Pruta, so the Milva doesn't work. The milva,
it's okay because he gave her pruta anyway.
Again, if he said I'm giving you a pruta and that's all, so then for sure it's good. He gives her a stone, a nofach. He gives her a yalom, for sure it's good. But if he would, let's say the stone is worth $100, the nofach is worth $100, and the work to make the gold into a ring costs $50. And he says, I'm marrying you, and if she thinks she's getting married for $150. So it doesn't make a difference that the stone is worth $100. She didn't get $150. She wanted both, and she thinks that the milk is also good Kiddushin, and really it's not. So she didn't get 150. She only got the value of the stone. She didn't get the value of the work, which she thought is part of the Kiddushin. That's not a good Kiddushin. So the only reason it's going to be good is if you hold that someone who was Makadosh milva pruta, daiter pruta. That if you hold that when someone made Kiddushin with two things, the milva and the pruta, but her das is that the pruta alone is good enough, and even if the milva is not good, I know Makadosh milva is not good, so the pruta alone. So she had in mind to get married with the value of this nofach alone. But Marasava daite a milva, and the other Mandama says that's not good is because she wants the milva also. She thinks she's getting the milva, and she didn't get it. She got the money, but that's not good enough for Kiddushin. For Kiddushin, it's not a good Kiddushin. So that would be a reason why it's not a good Kiddushin. So the Gemara said 3 possibilities to get out of this. I didn't highlight it over here. I could have highlighted it. Let's do it again. The Gemara is saying.
So if a girl thinks that the ring is worth $1,000 and it's only worth $100, then that's it. Then it's not good.
No, that's why by the chuppah, the Masada Kiddushin asked the Edom is it worth a shavar pruta.
Right.
And they're telling the girl that if it's a shavar pruta, it's a good Kiddushin. You're accepting even if it's only a shavar pruta, even though she thinks that it's a fancy ring.
Right.
But they say beferish that if it's a shavar pruta, it's a good Kiddushin. And she says yes.
Right.
I mean, the Adam say yes.
Then
She finds
there's
out-
no
She
question.
finds out it's a fake diamond, it's not worth what she
Right,
thinks.
it's still
it's
a
less,
good
it's still-
condition. It's still a good condition. So here the Gemara said,
Right, that's right.
here the Gemara says one teretz might be Ein L'Tzchir Sela B'Sof, another teretz might be Uma and Kona B'Shvach Kli. Oh, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, that's true. That's one, that's what.
And the third case was Hosef Lanofach Mishalo, and Daite Hosef Lanofach Mishalo, and together with Daite Pruta.
What's the first one?
The first one was Ein L'Tzchir Sela B'Sof. If it was going that everybody else with Kaddish Ben Milva is not good. So why in the world does it say this case is good? So one possibility is going to be Ein L'Tzchir Sela B'Sof, that it's not an accruing chov that he's owed to her.
Mhm.
It's
Not
only
accrued,
at
it
the
comes
end,
to
at the end of the
only
whole
finish.
job, that's when she has to pay. And now when he gives it to her, that's when she has to pay. And he's saying keep it. That's better than
That's why
Kaddish
she
Ben
told
Milva.
him.
Second possibility is that when he made the gold into a ring, he became owner of part of the ring, as much as the work was worth, and therefore he's giving that to her, the part of the ring that he owes. And the third possibility is that he added on a stone, and even though it might be mistaken that he's marrying her with two things, with the milva and the pruta, the das is on the pruta alone, and therefore it's a good Kiddushin. And the last thing, once it says the last thing, it brings down is the machlokes, which in a brisa, which we're going to fit this machlokes into the brisa. We'll see another machlokes also. There be two machlokes. But we look at Tanya Tanoi. This fits according to a machlokes we had on different brisa. The Tanya, b'schasha sisi imach ena mekudeshes. B'schasha esi imach mekudeshes. If the man is mekadesh the woman with the labor that he already worked, and you owe me money, for the work that I did, the salary that you owe me. So that's ena mekudeshes because we're going mekadesh b'milva ena mekudeshes, and everybody holds like that over here. Mekadesh b'milva ena mekudeshes. The money that she owes him is not going to be a good Kiddushin. But what I'm going to do, it is good. Why is it going to be good? So we have the possibilities. We said why it might be good. It might be good because if you hold in the schir sela b'sof, so then when it comes to sof, I'm going to do for you. So then I'm going to be contact you with that. Or the Gemara might say also that also might be included. The Gemara is going to say the first possibility that in the schir sela b'sof. We'll see that soon. But here the Tanakhama says that if he marries her with the salary that she's going for what he's going to work is good. Neither one is good. It's not good even if he wants to marry her with the salary that he's got for the work that he's going to do. And Kavachomer is not good for what he did already because that's already a question of Mekadesh Ben Milva. And the third opinion, the B'Danasi Omer, in truth, they said like Rabbi Nosson, either one is not good, but he says something is good. The most of if he added on a stone from his own, so then it is Mukudeshes. That's the end of the brisa. So the Gemara sees Beferish is a machlokus about Tosaf of Nofach Mishalom. This case, we added on something of his own, which is going to be a pruta, but is it good or not? The Reader says it's good, but the one before of Nosson holds it's not good. Why is it not good? Because he holds that pruta milva, and they didn't have in mind for the pruta alone. And the Gemara goes through the whole brisa now. Schirus means if schirus mishtalam is the basov. The reason why Tanakam holds that it's good is because he holds that schirus is the basov. So when he gives her the product that he made, so he's giving her the complete. Now she has no money till now. It wasn't a chov that she owes him. It's just now. That means he's giving it to her now. And if Nosson holds that it's not good, the Reader also holds that it's not good. Avasa Machok is between Rav Nosson and Rabbi Yehuda. Ben Rav Nosson and Rabbi Yehuda. Nasi Ikra Benayu Nova Pruta. That he gave her Nofach Mishalo. But also there's also the milva that's owed to him from the work that he did. So which one did he mean to be Mekadesh with? That's the machlokis. Marsav milva pruta daitya milva. That das was for the milva, at least the milva also, and therefore it's not a good kedushin. Or marsav daitya pruta that they only had in mind for the pruta alone, and therefore it is a good kedushin. So we finished the sugya. It took about 3 days, and it's pasha to the Gemara. Mekadesh milva is not good. So and the more I had like about 5 kashas to find Hani Tanoi. We have a bunch of machloksim that seem to say that somebody holds the Kaddish Ben Milva is good, and the Gemara deflected all of them. And we go back to our Mishnah that seem to say the Kaddish Ben Milva is good, and the Gemara even there also Rabbi Yochanan said I have no shot. I don't know. But I don't know. We have the meat, we have the table, we have the knife, but we don't have a mouth to eat. He couldn't figure out shot in the Mishnah because his Pashatim Mekadosh B'mil was not good. And then we had two other Tzitzim over there. Also, both of them were Dochak, but the Gemara doesn't give in. There's nobody that holds Mekadosh B'mil is good. Mekadosh B'mil ain't Mukadeshes. Yashikoach.
Maybe you just won. Yeah, 8:40. Yeah. And you start